Sup everyone, we're here at the Forest of Dean today for a rather special ride-out day with the Propain kind of team, both behind the scenes and their athletes. So we're going to be checking out some of their rides, including this rather fancy looking one. Stay tuned, all that and a few more coming up. Right, we're going to kick it off with Phil Atwill's Propain Ekano. Now Phil, is this a bike that you just have around, or is this like a daily or whatever?
Well, Blake, I'd say it's my daily.
A daily?
Daily, yeah. I
Amazing.
do a lot of time on the ebe.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Tell us about the bike. What size is it?
It's a size large.
Yep.
It's mullet.
Yep.
Set up fairly firm myself. I think I've got all the tokens that you can fit in on the rear shock.
How many tokens can you get in the rear shock?
That's the technical question.
We'd
have to go to Jimmy at Olin's to find out the answer for that one.
So you're running an Olin's
but we got a few.
air shock
in
there.
Air shock, yeah, so you can pump it up nice and firm.
Okay, so you're running it quite stiff?
Yeah, run it like midway on the high speed compression.
Okay, cool. And then on the front, you're running the Olin's 38.
Yep.
In there, tokens set up?
No tokens, just a lot of air in the ramp up.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, I think we got like 270 PSI in the ramp up, then like 135 in the upper chamber, or 130.
Wow, 270 PSI in there.
Yeah, you can go quite hard in the ramp up. It's nice, just
yeah.
Gives you good support for the
nice,
travel.
amazing. And you're saying it is a mixed wheel size, so 27.5, 29. Talk about the wheels on this bike, because I like the colour of the rim.
They're good, aren't they?
Yeah, I like the colour of the rim.
We've got some Newman, I'm not sure of the model, we'll have to zoom in on the model. Beskar 30s, but these are bad boy. Like, I've broke some wheels in my time, and these things are solid.
Now, if you don't know who Phil is, he is racing downhill World Cup. He's on the World Series, and he does go through some components because it is a rough sport. And yeah, I'll take your word for it. Actually, you ride a lot of motor, and this is quite motor-esque because of the silver alloys.
And they just look great, man.
They
like,
do look good.
Solid product, look good.
Yeah.
Get a lot of comments about the wheels on social and whatnot. So
no, it's good.
Nice.
Yeah, talk about that. So you're running the Schwalbe Magic Mary on the front and rear. In the rear, are you running an insert or front as well?
So nothing in the front. Normally on the e-bike go 24, 29, 30 PSI. And then I've got a Technomoose Evo insert, like a big red one. Pretty much just so you can rip corners without the tire coming off.
And the pressure in the rear, low?
Not too low. I'd still run it like 29, 30.
Okay, same pretty much as the front.
Yeah. You always go a bit harder with the Ebs.
Nice, okay. And the components on your bike, I can see you running death grips up here.
Death grips, yeah, some well-worn-in death grips. That's my favourite.
Yeah.
When they're like that, it's nice.
Like it. And you've got pretty much DMR scattered all over your bike.
DMR pedals, seat, bars, yeah.
Bar width?
Good question. I can't remember. 800.
I would say it's a little bit less.
Yeah, maybe 785. But if you come here, you see I've scratched in the levers. Like
I can see. Yes. No, that's a tech tip.
So I'm super fussy with my lever position.
Yep.
And like if I have a little slide out and they move, I'm like,
no.
So yeah, I scratch them in so you know exactly where to put them.
No, I like that. That is actually a really good tech tip. If you're a fussy guy or a fussy rider or a fussy lady, that is the perfect thing. Etch it in. Don't worry about scratching it.
Yeah, no.
Etch it in, because then you know exactly where they end up.
Same with the seat posts as well. Always good to scratch that.
Always good. Sometimes they do come with numbers on them. Some posts.
They do. But it's only good if you remember the number.
Exactly. And some of us don't really remember.
Some of us definitely don't.
Do you like the pedals?
I love the pedals, yeah.
Really nice. Anything that you do to your bike different? Or do you just get it out of the bike, set it up,
I run like a high front end, bars fairly rolled back maybe. Like to keep it nice and playful.
You're a playful kind of guy on the bike.
Always go fork harder than shock, fork faster than shock, just basic setup, just so you always like getting pushed back, but that's standard on most of my bikes.
So you ride your e-bike a lot. So primarily, what kind of riding do you do, and what kind of style of riding? Just anything.
Anything, man. Bike's a bike, and it just go out, do like a big techie climb, and then do a big techie trail.
Yeah.
I found myself doing a lot more exploring on the E because you're not scared of like getting exhausted and lost. Because you've got the battery, you can just go for missions.
Yes. Yeah. That's actually a fair point. You can actually go, I want to go down this trail and see what it's like. It doesn't really matter. You can just come back up to the top and try another trail. Yeah. That's the best thing about them.
Yeah. So we've been in Morzine this summer and just been like looking for tracks. We've just been sick because like you say, you're not scared if you get lost.
Yeah.
But riding everything today. We've been out filming with the Propain lot, doing natural bits, jumps, you name it, curbs, rocks, logs.
Bit of trials.
Bit of anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice, cheers.
Okay, I've stolen Jono Jones and we're going to check out his bike. Now, you've opted for the shorter travel, well, compared to the other one version anyway, haven't you? What have you got, bud?
This is my Propain Sresh. You're right, it is shorter travel. It's 150 rear, 160 front. So a little bit smaller than the Ekano, but also carbon fibre. So just sort of lighter all round, more of a trail e-bike.
Okay, now I did have a look and the sort of full builds on these are, or can be down to about 20.5 kilograms, which is really, really light. Now yours, I'm going to hazard a guess, isn't that? Because there's some burly parts on it, which we'll get
Absolutely.
to. But I think, you know, for our avid e-mountain bike viewers out there, could you tell us what motor's on this?
It's a Shimano 801.
Okay.
EP 801.
Yeah, the new one.
The new one, yeah, indeed.
And what battery have we got?
620, I think.
626.
626.
I tested you there. I tested you. I called you out there. But yeah, okay, sort of in keeping with that kind of, I'm not going to say trail bike, but that kind of sort of more lightweight package, should we say?
Yeah.
Mixed wheel size?
Mixed wheel for me, something I've tried only in recent years. You can do both 29 and mixed on this.
Oh, okay, that's
and
cool.
I like mixed, more bum clearance.
More bum clearance, throwing it around a bit as well, things like that?
Yeah, it falls into turns better. I still race on 29ers for downhill and enduro and stuff, but
full
this
29.
is a fun bike for me on full 29, yeah.
Nice. All right, well, let's run through setup a little bit and we'll start at the front. Now, I think obviously a big standout is these bright yellow wheels.
They are.
I mean, I'm getting flashbacks to, you know, old school downhill days. God, tell us what you got on here, mate.
I am too. I rode Mavic wheels in 2011, I think, when there was the yellow D-Max, and they were like the wheels to have, or they were to me anyway.
Yeah, no, they were.
And they brought them back. I think it's a 10th year anniversary of when they discontinued them.
Yeah.
So they're back, they look amazing, they're really strong, and I think they look sick, especially on this colourway.
Definitely. Goodyear tyres, you ride for Goodyear, right?
I do, yeah. These are the Wranglers. Love the tread pattern, really good compound. These are big. They come up as 2.6, but they're the e-bike ones, the electric drive ones.
Right, I mean, because they are chunky. They are monstrous. So, and they're e-bike specific, right?
These are, yeah, these ones.
Okay, so they got big, chunky, thicker casing.
Yeah, more traction, more drive.
I mean, yeah, they look like a tractor tyre. They are monstrous. So, okay, moving on, let's kind of work. Forks, we've got 38 on there.
We have,
160 mil?
Shortened to 160, yep.
Tokens?
2.
Pressures?
Lots, actually.
I've thrown it at you. I had a little bounce, actually. Yeah, it does feel pretty
I've got
stiff.
too much pressure in there, so I won't call it out.
Okay.
I think I'd like to have about 125.
Right, okay, fair dues. We've got an XTR group set from what I can see, XTR brakes. 203 rotors, front and rear?
Indeed, yep.
Moving up to the cockpit. Now, you're a one-up athlete, right?
I am, yeah.
So run us through quickly on the cockpit here. What have we got?
I've always ran my bars at 770, and then a couple of bikes ago, Liam didn't cut them down because he thought I should try something longer.
Right.
That's what he likes. And ever since I've been 800, which
The
is how
full
they
width?
come. Yeah,
Just
and I really
uncut,
like
basically.
it. So I won't go back to being shorter.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
They
all right.
don't even feel wide anymore.
No. What rise is this? Because they're certainly not flat.
No, they're 30.
30 mil rise on a, what's that, 45 stem?
42, I think they are,
42?
Yeah.
All right, a 42 stem, I like it.
Yeah.
EDC tool I see noticed in the top there.
Indeed, yeah.
Tucked away.
That's a dream, actually. You can hold your cigars in there or just a multi-tool.
Hey, whatever floats your boat on the ride, right?
Exactly.
I'm liking this nice sort of shrink wrapping, keeping the cables quiet and tidy. What grips are these?
ODIs, the AG2s, yeah. They're just simple but effective. I like them.
What more do you need? All right, let's kind of move on. What pedals have we got here?
They're DMR V twins,
Okay.
an SPD mechanism that can move inside the pedal housing. I like them, you can put pins in.
Big platform as well,
Yeah.
so when you come unclipped.
Exactly, good pedals.
Yeah, nice. What dropper?
The V3, which is relatively new, really easy to service. I actually did a video servicing one and managed to do it on my own in a few minutes, and I struggled to change a tyre, so that's cool.
And on top?
6-pack seat,
Okay.
nice and big from a big butt.
Yeah, out of interest, do you know what drop that is? Because it's long.
210, I think.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. So you can just basically
Something
drop
you'd
it.
need.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, drop it right down out of the way. Okay, rear shock. What have we got there? An X2.
Indeed, loads of pressure, again, too much. I always fill them with tokens though. The
Yeah,
volume
so it
spaces,
ramps
yeah.
up nicely.
Yeah.
Basically just ramps
As
up
many
for
as
its
it'll
travel,
take.
right? Cool. Moving on back, what have we got? The XTR mech on an XT cassette. Now, interestingly, you haven't got the big wide ratio.
Indeed,
the
yeah.
51, is it? Or 52?
Yeah, so this
51.
is, instead of 51, 45. Feel like on an e-bike, if you're in that easier gear,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong place, you know?
You're like up
Like, you have that gear when you're struggling with your own human legs.
Yeah.
I don't know, you could ride up a building with the 51.
Yeah, no, you can. I've tried.
Yeah.
No, but no, you're right. Okay,
So,
okay.
smaller
you-
range, and you can just still do everything and just let the motor do the work.
Yeah, okay. I mean, interesting. I suppose, you know, these motors are so powerful now that they can winch you up a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you haven't got as big a jumps in the gears, I guess.
Yeah, and when these are powering, it's a bit less clunking, right?
Yeah, fair dues, fair dues. You said the Wrangler tyre on the back.
Indeed.
On the Mavic. Do you run inserts?
No, I tried them a few years ago and didn't love them. They felt a little bit harsh to me, so
Okay.
all air. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. And out of interest, when you say all air, how much?
Well, it was different
Hard.
to a few years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a couple of heavy Christmases, so now I'm up to about 28 on the back and 24 on the front.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Nice, dude. Well, look, thank you for sort of running us through your bike. The Sresh is, it looks
beauty.
fresh. It is really nice, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We have an incredibly stealth rig here. This is the Propain Ekano CF. CF standing for carbon. Now, the guy who rides this, introduce yourself and what you do for the company.
My name's Adam, and I am the manager of Propain UK.
There we go. The big guy, the big man is riding an incredible bike. Now, is this thing stock straight out of the box, Adam?
Pretty much, apart from a few little tweaks, I've just yesterday, put a set of Mavens on.
Dude, they look incredible. Look at the calipers. I'm in awe of these brakes. Do they work really well? I reckon that you need all the stopping power for an e-bike because it's a little bit heavier.
Yeah, I had them on my trail bike first,
Yeah.
and then rode this bike, and then I realised how much more
Yeah.
power they had, and
Yeah.
then it had to come on
It
here.
had to come on
Yeah.
here. It's amazing, dude. So, talk us through the bike. The battery on this,
630 watt hour.
okay, and the motor on this,
It's the
which
SRAM.
is unique.
Yeah, it's the SRAM powertrain motor they make with Bros. It's 90 Newton meters,
Incredible.
and it runs with the auto shift and the coast shift as well.
Okay,
Super quiet, super clean.
yeah, and you run it in that auto shift?
I run it in auto shift, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tune how your pedal speed is and
Yeah.
set it up just how you want.
Oh, wow.
Takes a bit of getting used to
Yeah.
the first time, but it's worth it.
Yeah, so we were talking off camera about this auto shift, and you were like, I'm just going to take away the little shifter bit there,
Yep.
the pad, put it in your pocket and see what the bike does.
Yeah.
And it actually,
I let the bike do what it wanted to do for a whole ride. We're up
Nice.
for 3 hours,
Yeah.
and I felt like I wanted to change gear 2 or 3 times.
amazing.
There's obviously the bike can't see a hill coming, but
But it will feel
it'll-
within your
it'll
legs.
work it out pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
Well, that is incredible. It's very sophisticated. So the travel of the bike,
170 mil at
Yeah.
the rear, 180 at the front.
amazing. And you're running it on mixed or
Yep. Yeah,
29?
it's mixed. It's a large. I've had it on 29 as well, but just found with the mix just works really well.
Yeah, I think mixed wheel size bike on e-bikes especially is.
Yeah,
I
especially
think
the
it's the
bigger
sweet
travel
spot.
ones.
Exactly. Yeah. Talk about the wheels on this bike. Is this your personal rig?
This is my personal
Okay.
bike. Yeah.
Perfect. Because I'm going to point out the wheels. All right. You've got Crank Brothers on the front, and then what is on the
That's a
rear?
Newman on the rear.
Okay.
So we spec them on the bike, both
Yep.
of them.
Yeah, both
I-
brands, not in this
both brands,
configuration.
Not in this configuration.
No.
No, I had a set of 29 Crank Brothers on,
Okay.
and then I wanted to try it mixed wheel, and
Yeah.
I only had a Newman one
Wait,
hidden around. So
It's round. It goes round.
yeah, it's
and
carbon,
fun.
so
Yeah.
they match, and a little bit stiffer actually. So it actually works really well.
Oh,
as like
nice.
a setup. So
Yeah. Talk about setup, right? Suspension-wise, because it's a personal preference on what people like to run. Now, what type of riding do you do with this bike? Is this like your go-to bike, your daily, or do you have multiple bikes?
I have multiple bikes,
Okay.
and quite lucky to have the option to ride lots of different bikes.
Yeah.
I have this set up as a slightly harder hitting
Okay.
bike parky stuff, bigger trails, burlier trails. If I'm going to bigger riding and I want to pedal up,
Yeah.
this is the bike I take.
Amazing. Perfect. Now, the cool thing about this SRAM setup, especially the motor, is the modes, which I didn't know until you mentioned it to me, which is pretty unique because I'm always used to 3 different modes. Like you've got eco, you've got trail, you've got boost or whatever. And this one is?
Just 2,
Just
range
2.
and rally.
I like rally.
Rally's cool, and
Yeah.
I don't go in it that often.
No.
I find that range gives me enough, and you can, within that app,
Yeah.
tweak stuff, get it how you want it, set each mode more powerful or less, or however you want, and it's just spot on.
Amazing.
Get the most out of the bike. Just means you have to think less. If you're not changing gear, you're not playing with modes, you just get to look at the trail, and it's
And just pedal away.
Yeah, just pedal away.
make sure you go around the corners and
Yeah.
you know, focus on the things that are fun.
Yeah, and the trees not to hit and everything. So
Tyres on this, super burly. They are the Continentals.
yeah.
Are you running inserts?
No,
Nothing.
Just downhill casing.
Yep.
Soft on the rear, super soft on the front.
Yeah.
Argo towel, crypto towel.
Yeah.
And it just a really good setup for everything, really.
I do like the attention to detail with the carbon layup where it should be all on these bits right here. It's raw. I do love the raw look of this bike.
Yeah.
It's super stealth.
You can see where we put extra material in, or the stronger 3K weaves
Yep.
for where it's the higher loads, and
Exactly.
it just, yeah, it looks really cool.
The one thing I'm admiring about this bike, you say apart from the Mavens and a few little personal bits, I guess the wheel setup on it, these come with a 160mm crank, which is pretty cool because most e-bikes, I guess they're coming into time now where they're stepping away from 175 cranks, which is like the norm.
Yeah.
I feel like running a shorter crank on an e-bike is the best thing about it. I'm running 155s.
Yeah, it just gives you some clearance, and I think it corners really well. You don't need the leverage that you need
don't.
from a normal bike. And I can actually run this is currently in the low BB position with the shorter cranks as well. And I don't find that I catch them or anything. So normally that's just for 29, but it seems to work really well with that setup.
Perfect.
Just gets the weight nice and low and fun through the corners.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Fun. Oh, Adam, thank you so much for just showing off your black beauty. This thing is an absolute beast, mate.
Very welcome.
Thank you very much.
you.
Now, what better way to end this video with the boss himself of the UK of Propain. They're doing an incredible job over here. And if you want to like or subscribe to this channel, don't forget to give us a thumbs up like, hit the subscribe button because you're missing out on some great e-bike content. If you're struggling with anything technical or about e-bikes, we have a plethora of different videos. Hopefully you like this one and we'll see you next time. See ya.